pyrimidines. So what are the purines? Adenine, guanine. Pyrimidines, thymine, cytosine, uracil. Right. Which nitrogen base present in DNA but not RNA? Thymine. Okay. Which nitrogen base present in RNA but not DNA? Uracil. Which nitrogen bases present both DNA RNA? AGC. AGC. Okay. So then what is nucleotide and what is nucleoside? Nucleoside is pentose sugar and nitrogen base. So nitrogen base present on which carbon of pentose sugar? First carbon. What is nucleotide? Pentose sugar, nitrogen base and phosphate group. Okay. Next, in the formation of dinucleotide, so phosphodiester bond present between which carbons? So third carbon of one pentose sugar and fifth carbon of another pentose sugar. Okay. So till here completed, no? Next is structure of DNA. Structure of DNA. So DNA structure is classified into two types. There is a structure is two types. One, primary structure and secondary structure. Let us see first primary structure. Tell me. So we have studied even primary structure of protein also. Do you remember? Primary structure of protein describes what? It describes the number of protein. The primary structure of protein describes what? Number of amino acids. It also describes sequence of amino acid and formation of peptide bond. Now therefore here, what are the monomers of this polynucleotide? Or RNA, DNA, nucleic acid is nucleotide. Therefore, now tell me, the primary structure of DNA describes one. It describes the number of nucleotides. Yes or no? Number of nucleotides. Next, it also describes the sequence. What is the sequence of nucleotide? Means nitrogen base. Sequence of nucleotides, that is nitrogen base. Next, it also describes the formation of phosphodiester bond. No, phosphodiester bond. So therefore, the primary structure of nucleic acid, that is DNA, describes the number of nucleotides and sequence of nucleotide, that is nitrogen base, and formation of phosphodiester bond, which is present between two nucleotides. Next is important secondary structure of DNA. Secondary structure. So this secondary structure of DNA was given by James Watson and Crick, no? Watson and Crick. It is called Watson-Crick model, no? So therefore, secondary structure was given by Watson and Crick. It is called Watson-Crick model. Okay. Then according to Watson and Crick, what is the structure of DNA? So here, according to Watson and Crick, DNA has double-stranded right-handed helical structure. Therefore, it has double-stranded, exactly, no, I can't, adjust ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Okay, so therefore, right, so the first point is DNA has, it is a double-stranded right-handed helical structure, which is also called alpha helical structure. Right-handed is nothing but alpha helical structure. Okay, next, second point. Okay, then it has double-stranded, it means two strands, right? So DNA has two strands. So one strand runs from 5 prime to 3 prime. Other strand is 3 prime to 5 prime. It means, so these two strands are anti-parallel, no? Anti-parallel to each other. Therefore, DNA contain two anti-parallel strands, and which are held together by what? So these two strands are, they held together by which bonds? Hydrogen bonds. And moreover, these hydrogen bonds present between what? Whether pentose sugar or nitrogen bases or phosphate group. So nitrogen bases. Therefore, they held together by hydrogen bonding. That hydrogen bond present between the nitrogen bases. So that is, there are double bond present between adenine and thymine, and a triple bond is present between guanine and cytosine. So therefore, if it is a adenine, there is a double bond here, thymine. Here is a guanine, triple bond, cytosine. Okay, next. Then there are how many number of nucleotides or nitrogen bases in one helix? So in the one helix, approximately there are 10 nitrogen bases, no? Therefore, there are 10 nitrogen bases or nothing but 10 nucleotides in one helix, one complete helical structure. So therefore, next is, in DNA, the number of nitrogen bases, that is number of purines equal to number of pyrimidines, right? That means number of purine is nothing but adenine plus guanine is always equal to thymine plus cytosine. It is called Chargaff rule. Okay. So therefore, A plus G is always equal to C plus T plus C. Chargaff rule. Huh? F. Huh? Okay. Chargaff rule. So therefore, can we write it is A plus G? Nothing but I can take it is, okay, all A plus G by T plus C is equals to 1. That the ratio is 1. Next, but the ratio of adenine plus thymine, okay, and guanine plus cytosine in human being, it is 1.52 is to 1. This means the ratio of AT by GC changes species to species. In human being, it is approximately 1.52 1, nothing but 1.52. This ratio is 1.52. Okay. So this is the some important structural information of DNA, right? Next, structure of RNA. In biology you study in detail, we don't have that information, not required. Next is structure of RNA. Tell me. So structure of RNA. So RNA is a double stranded, single stranded. It is a single stranded polynucleotide, but it is a single stranded polynucleotide due to self folding. It undergo self folding. So due to self folding, it become double strand and looks, it is a hairpin like structure. It is actually single stranded, but due to having folding themselves, so it becomes a hairpin like structure and having looks like a double stranded. Next, in RNA, so the base pairs are adenine double bonds with uracil and guanine triple bond with cytosine. Okay. Next, So DNA can convert into RNA, no, which is called transcription, and DNA can also convert into DNA, which is called replication, I think, right? Replication. Next, RNA can produce the protein, right? It is a translation. Tell me. Central. ಯಾಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಆ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕೆ? ಓಕೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕು. ಹಾಂ, ಓಕೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting, right? So in DNA fingerprinting, this is most widely using technology nowadays. So we know that so every individual or human being having own fingerprint, right? The fingerprint of each and every human being is unique, right? So which is on the what is it, tip of the finger, right? So therefore, but here problem is this fingerprint is unique, but it can be altered by surgery. Bala talent idare, right? It can be altered, it can be changed. That's what you cannot believe this, right? Fingerprint to identify the individuals. But like similar to our fingerprint, so every individual also has unique sequence of DNA, that too in each cell. The sequence of DNA in each cell is again same, and it is a unique. So that sequence is never repeated in any other individual, any other species. Okay, so therefore now this concept is used in the fingerprinting, that is called DNA fingerprinting. So therefore, so DNA fingerprinting is based on the sequence of DNA in each and every individual is unique. Okay, then now this technology is used in the fingerprinting. Then what is the application of DNA fingerprinting? One, so DNA fingerprinting is used in to identify the criminals, right, by forensic lab technicians, right? So it is used to identify the criminals, right? Then next, it is also used to identify the even parents and children also, by comparing their DNAs, right? But here the parent and children DNA is not same, but there is a relation. Okay, because the DNA comes by replication. No, when DNA get replicated, so it has its own sequence. So therefore, by comparing the DNA of parents and children, so therefore parent-children relation can be identified, and it is also used to identify the even dead bodies also, right? So it was recently, in 1 week back, there was a helicopter crash. Okay, in that our soldiers are died. Okay, there I think except 2-3 dead bodies, no dead bodies were able to identify. So how the forensic people identify? It is based on DNA sequence. They take the DNA sequence sample of dead bodies, and they compare the sequence of their parent DNA. So therefore, by comparing with parent DNA and or even children DNA also, that DNA can be matched. So therefore, to identify the dead bodies in accident and all, it can be used. And nowadays this DNA fingerprinting is very commonly is using, even in small cases and all also it is DNA fingerprinting used. And moreover, so nowadays DNA library is prepared by secret. It is a particularly VIPs, the sequence of VIPs, all the DNA, they take samples and they keep preserve it. Like in olden days, VIP persons' books and their things, how it is placed in a library and all. Nowadays, DNA sequence is placed. Okay, so what is the DNA sequence of so and so president, so and so minister? Okay, it will be secret, but the whole VIP people DNA sequence will be there with the government. Okay, so in that much it is very commonly used. I think in future, not more than 3-4 years, even it is each and every individual DNA sequence also be, the government has ready to plan to take sequence, and it will be there in your Aadhaar card and all. It comes, yes, that much it's very commonly using to identify the individual, no, because face can be changed, your fingerprint can be changed, your even height, weight can be changed, no, height change agala, but at least weight change agota. So when human is changing all right appearance, then why can't take your fingerprint? That is a DNA. That's the DNA sequence. It is, if it is placed once in Aadhaar card, then wherever you go, right? Where is your sequence? Yes. ACGDC, something sequence. Like your Aadhaar card number, you should tell sequence of your DNA. Okay, that days comes. So that much very commonly it can be used because it has important. Okay, so that is DNA fingerprinting. So next is hormones. So what are hormones and their importance? Okay, so when DNA converts into RNA, so here suppose there is a sequence of nitrogen bases, something A, G, T, something A, T, T, A. Tell me, this is a sequence in DNA. What is the sequence of nitrogen base in RNA? Right, tell me. A become U, C, A, U, A, U. Okay. That can be identified now, sequence. Okay, next is hormones. So what are hormones and types of hormones? Okay, can you tell me what is hormone? So hormone is a biochemical messenger, no? A biochemical messenger is called hormone, right? So a biochemical messenger is a hormone. Usually hormones are produced from ductless gland, that is endocrine gland. So they produce from the endocrine gland and they directly enter into the blood. Through the blood they enter into the, or they circulate it to so particular places, and they have the their particularly metabolic action. Okay, therefore, so generally all the hormones are produced by the endocrine gland, and they secreted directly into the blood, and they circulated through the blood, and so they have the metabolic action, that is, and they are biomolecule. Okay, the next is types of hormones. So what are the types of hormones? Hormones are classified into two types, no? Steroid and non-steroid. Have you completed this topic in biology? No, okay. I think in biology you will be having in detail. Okay, then hormones are steroid hormone and non-steroid hormone. Then steroid hormones are further classified into two types. Sex hormones and corticosteroids. So non-steroid is again further classified into two types, that is peptide hormones and amino hormones. Peptide hormones, amino hormones. Okay. Then there are three important sex hormones, or again three types. One, male sex hormones, female sex hormones and pregnancy hormones. Okay. The next is corticosteroids are there. Mineralocorticosteroid and glucocortico, no? Glucocortico and mineralocortico. Okay. Next is peptide hormones. Can you tell me example for peptide hormones? Best example is insulin. Insulin, even oxytocin, vasopressin. Yes or no? So insulin, oxytocin, vasopressin. Okay. So here their importance and work of all these hormones we study. Okay. And what is the importance of this insulin? Actually insulin has, it is a peptide hormone, no? Peptide hormone, it has two peptide chains, peptide A, peptide B, no? Two polypeptide chains. Peptide A has 21 amino acid, yes or no? It is 30 amino acid, total how many? So total 51 amino acids are there in insulin, and insulin is the hormone which is secreted from the beta cells of pancreas, and it regulate the blood glucose level. Then insulin can convert excess of glucose in blood into what? Glycogen, which is called glycogenesis. Because glycogen produced, no, genesis produced. Okay, so it is about insulin, and oxytocin, vasopressin are the important hormones. So importance and all. So study just material. Okay, in our inside textbook only examples are given. That's it. But their work and all, 1-2 examples given. Better you study in material. So the full information is there. Even it is useful for your biology also. Okay. Next, right? Test for proteins. Test for proteins. Okay. What is the test for test for the carbohydrate? Only one test we have studied, no? Mollis test. Right on. Test for protein. There are 4 tests. So take the 3 columns. Experiment, observation, inference. So experiment, observation, inference. First one is biuret test. Biuret test. Right. So in biuret test, it is a protein plus 1% alkaline copper sulfate is mixed. So protein plus 1% alkaline copper sulfate will get violet color. Violet color, which confirms that peptide bond or peptide linkage. Peptide linkage. So where the peptide linkage present? Proteins, right? Peptide linkage present in protein only, no? So which confirms that protein. So that is a biuret test. Next is xanthoprotic test. Xanthoprotic test. Right. In xanthoprotic test, there is a aqueous solution of protein plus concentrated HNO3 is mixed or added. Then immediately we will get yellow color. So yellow colored solution is formed, so which indicate protein, but particularly which is for protein that is containing or amino acid containing phenyl ring. Amino acid having phenyl ring. So therefore this is the test for the amino acids, of course protein, but which protein? That protein must have the amino acid which is having phenyl ring. Can you tell me which amino acid having phenyl ring? Phenylalanine, phenylalanine, comma, tyrosine and tryptophan, heterocyclic. No, benzene ring is not there. Tyrosine, one more amino acid. Tyrosine, one more amino acid having benzene ring. Tryptophan has the heterocyclic as well as benzene ring, no? Not there? So therefore, so this is the test for the proteins having at least any one of this amino acid, because this concentrate nitric acid reacts with benzene ring. That's what. Okay. So this is the second test, and third test is Millen test. Millen's test. In Millen test, aqueous protein plus Millen's reagent is added, then it gives immediately white PPT. White PPT is formed. So which is also confirms that same protein having alpha amino, that is amino acid having phenyl ring. So therefore Millen test and xanthoprotic test both are for same kind of protein. It is for the protein, but protein should have alpha amino acid having at least one phenyl ring, because both the reagent reacts with phenyl ring. Then last one is ninhydrin test. This is very common. Ninhydrin test is very commonly used for the, even it is for amino acid as well as protein. So therefore here aqueous protein which is mixed with ninhydrin reagent. Ninhydrin reagent will get blue or violet, blue-violet solution which confirms either amino acid, even peptide, even protein. Therefore this is most important for the identification of amino acid. Which of the following test is used to identify the amino acid? It is a ninhydrin test. So therefore, this ninhydrin test is used to identify amino acid, even peptide bond. Peptide bond is nothing but protein, no, even for protein. So therefore, aqueous protein plus ninhydrin reagent which gives blue violet solution. Okay. So these are the tests for identification of proteins. Okay. So this biomolecule topic is finished.